All right, we back at it again. This time doing some speakers for the truck. I'll flip you around so you can see what I got. Got some Pioneer 6.5s and then 4s in the same series. I think it's the A Series Plus. Then got the speaker adapters and then the wiring harnesses and even the baffle to go behind these to make sure that as much sound can come into the actual cab. But I'm going to set you up real quick. Really right now, all I'm doing is doing a little unboxing and then putting the speakers in their adapters. I'm going to start with the 6.5s. Drop the wires. This is more mounting hardware that I'll probably use. So they come with their own adapters. And you can use them. Again, I'm just trying not to do more than what I have to. And these, I should be able to just clip in like how the factory speakers do. But if you wanted to go this route, you just have to drill more holes into the door. Then the speaker itself comes with a grill. Won't be using that. It's a 3-way. Did I say 3-way? It's a 4-way actually. Got a woofer, mid-range, a tweeter, and then a super tweeter. That's a 6.5. Same thing. Cables if you want it. More mounting hardware and screws. And here's the 4. And it's also got a tweeter in it. Let me see what it says. 2-way woofer, and then it just says it's a tweeter. Doesn't say anything about it being a super tweeter. All right, so I'm gonna start with the 4-inch speakers. These are 4 to 4x6 speaker adapters, and that's the part by Metra. Just line them up because my speakers in the truck are vertical, so I just want the Pioneer logo, how you would look at it. So that's how I'll be installing it. So for this, you just want to run the little piece of foam along the back. Just cut it. And I like to go back over and just smush it down. Make sure that it has good contact. That's it. Now it's ready to go in. Alright, that's one done. I'm gonna have to come back through and cut these off so that they're flush and not poking out. Got the 2 4x6 converted to 4s. Done. After I cut these down, I want to run some more foam around the edge here. I actually don't fit these speakers. So maybe if they were different speakers. Let me check. got some extra Scar TX65. It's another 6.5. I wonder if these will fit. Oh, they hit even lower. So these are probably good if you're running more of a smaller speaker, because they say 5 1/4 or 6.5, but 2 6.5 that I tried don't fit. Back to these is this will just be easy, just lining it up, screwing it in those 4 spots. This stuff's not necessary, but any extra little bit that you can help route that sound into the cabin is just that much better. And I learned it from 5-Star Car Audio, I believe. This stuff's not that expensive. I think probably like $10 for the 2 rolls on Amazon. Just getting ready to look at what the speakers look like. It has an aftermarket head unit, so they could be different. First thing is we'll get that sail panel, then move on to the rest. I just have a couple of plastic tools and picks to get the C-clip out that holds on the handle for the manual windows, and then just a 7mm socket. And this is already pretty loose, so I can just pull that off. Then under here, there's a 7mm bolt with a screw. And then there's supposed to be one down here, but it seems like the panel is already broke from that. So I'll just leave that alone. It's not hooked to anything, it just, there's a slider for the actual locking rod. And then in here is another 7. This is what that clip looked like. Slots into those grooves on the side, and then the top piece is just sticking right here. Now all you have to do is hold up. Even though that seemed like it wasn't attached, there's something on the back side. I just have it set up like that because I don't know how to get that switch out. And of course, whoever did this install didn't just get a little jumper harness. They cut the wires and crimped in these connectors. I'll be cutting these off and then soldering in the new wires. All right, switching gears into soldering mode. I have a couple things. There's my soldering iron, some solder that I just got brand new, and then flux, and then also those cables that I thought I wasn't gonna have to use. I have those now that I'm gonna solder in. Heat shrink tubing. It also has glue on the inside to make sure it's weatherproof. So I just have this mocked up in here real quick. Then I'm gonna take the large one to the positive and the small one to the negative. And I'm just gonna try and eyeball where this needs to go. Yeah, about there. So I'll cut there and then we'll go to stripping and soldering the wires together. All right, I'm gonna start by cutting these off. I'm just cutting it right after the connector. We're gonna go ahead and tin the wires, which is just getting some flux on them, which will help with the solder adhering to the wires, and then get some solder put on them. So I just take my ends, dip them in here, so that they have some flux on them. From here it should be enough just to tin the wires. And that yellow stuff is just the flux as it melted. Those are some tinned wires. So I'm going to do the same thing to the wires in the door. Right, so we got those tinned. I've cut some heat shrink tubing to slide over. You want to try and avoid forgetting that. The small connector or the one with the black stripe on it, and connect it to the dark green wire. And they're connected. Just gonna go back through and inspect that they're fully connected. So they're soldered together. Might try and add some solder to this joint. It seems pretty secure. And once I'm done, I'll just slide the heat shrink tubing over and we'll be all set. So I did some brainstorming while off camera. I'm gonna install a riv nut, which is basically just a rivet that you can then thread in a bolt into. So this is an M6, so it takes like a 10 mil bolt that I just have here. So I'm gonna center punch, mark it up, drill out the hole, insert this, and then we'll be able to secure the top here with just this one bolt. Just gonna eyeball it here with a center punch. Alright, so here's the tool. And the way that you use it is you take that threaded insert, you want to open it up, thread it on all the way down, and then what you'll do is you'll insert it in and squeeze it. And this is the point where it acts like a rivet, and it'll squish the backside and stay in there. Sometimes you want to screw it back in a little bit more to then give it another squish so that it's good and tight against the sheet metal. So with that in there, you can go ahead and slide this in. It's a little loose on the bottom, so I might try and add a little foam to the legs down here just to have them more pressed up against the door. And again, this is aftermarket. Somebody's put it in here. These actually didn't even work. So that'll be fun trying to figure out why they didn't work. But it looks like they use self-tappers. Yeah. Same thing, they cut and put in their own connectors. Well, that's something. It looks like it was worse at some point. This is just speaker wire ran, and that just was tucked back under this, I guess you'd call it B-pillar. If you think something might work, try it. You'll never know. until you try it. This is just a butane soldering iron, but it also has a little area where the heat comes out of. So I'm just using it to heat shrink. Probably be better if I had a lighter.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
I'm gonna have to look up to see which one is positive and which one's negative, because they didn't put two different sizes like they did on the passenger door. So look that up and be right back. Alright, so blue is positive, light blue is negative. Go ahead and cut these, strip them, you know. When I go to set this joint up, I try and have it to where one of the wires is naturally pressing into the other. So hopefully that they work with me and not against me. I'm gonna test and see if it actually works now, or if there's a bigger problem elsewhere. Well, definitely an issue somewhere else. That is a problem for a different day. If this is hooked up, I believe it's something with the actual wires with whoever did the head unit. I'd assume that's where the disconnect is, literally.
You're a goddamn genius.
Next thing will be to put some foam on it, figure out the screws, and then just mount it back up. So green is a set of wires, and then purple is a set of wires, and then you have those cut. So actually just gonna take this out, might redo all of them. I've gone ahead and cut these crimp nuts because they're not the twist ones. I don't know what they're called. But I cut those off, so we just have the wiring harness from the actual radio, and then the adapter to the factory adapter. I'm gonna go ahead and strip these. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it is sure windy outside. We're having some crazy weather. It was raining earlier today, then started snowing. It's supposed to have winds up to like 70 miles an hour. Crazy. All 10, some aren't perfect, but they'll get more solder added to them. And same over here. These surprisingly actually soldered easier than the radio harness. After looking at it, looks like the solid orange is actually illumination. So I actually have to strip this and get this tinned up. First connection down. Whole bunch more to go.
I'm finna wait to see who's gonna say blessings.
Sorry about the little jump there in time. This is actually the next day. My phone had died recording yesterday. Went ahead and put this back in, tested it, had connected that blue wire to the red wire to the radio, which is the accessory turn on to tell the radio to turn on. And it's working. Rear speakers work. Just gonna go ahead and put the screws back in that held in the radio, and then get a test for you guys. I'll try and find a song that I can actually play and bump a little bit. Definitely is a lot louder and a lot more punchier with the bass. So I'm definitely happy. I appreciate y'all watching. If you stayed to the end, like, comment, subscribe, share, do all the things. Catch you next time.